So, very good evening, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good evening, Karishma. I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm also doing great. Thank you for asking. And before we move further, let's start with the introduction. Like,
Yeah.
this is our ritual.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Anushri Goenka. I am based in Gurgaon. I'm a startup founder. This is my second startup. I'm building a company called Sparky, which is a AI friend for spoken English fluency for Indians. And my background is that I'm a computer science engineer. I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and I have 14 years of work experience. And I've worked in many different sectors. I've worked at Swiggy. I've worked in consulting. So that's a little bit about me.
That's great. So today, as you already know, that we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. Like people already always confuse about that why their mind goes blank whenever they try to speak English. Why do you think this happens?
Yeah. No, I think we've also heard it a lot from a lot of learners that, they feel their mind goes blank, right? Like why I'm saying feel is because it feels more like that than it is actually true.
Okay.
Most people know more English than they think they do.
Hmm.
But it is true that they feel like the mind goes blank, right? And I think the number one reason or the core source of this is stress, pressure, right? When, like, imagine you're in a forest or something and you see a tiger suddenly, you will freeze. You won't
Obviously.
know what to do and you will not be able to think, right? Which is the brain's, people might have heard of this, it's called fight or flight, right? So there is different parts of the brain. There is one part of the brain that kicks in when you are faced with some danger, which
Okay.
is fight or flight.
Okay.
And usually that type of response feels like the mind is going blank. And that is accompanied usually with also increased heart rate. Right. So why I'm saying all this is like just overall medical terminology, but this is how people feel when they're trying to speak in front of someone. They suddenly feel like their heart is beating faster, right? In a meeting or in front of some people, you know your turn will come. You
Right.
are going to speak or you have to make a point, and you're so afraid of that that your heart starts, beating faster, and that is when they feel like the mind goes blank, right? It's a stress reaction, and in English speaking, the number one reason this happens, why does this happen, right, is the fear of judgment.
Okay.
Usually, if some of your viewers think that this happens to them, think about I would encourage them to think about when did this happen? Which situation were you in? What people were you with? It typically will not happen when you're alone,
Hmm.
right? It'll
Right.
happen when you were in front of someone where you wanted to appear that you can speak proper English. You were worried that they might judge you, they might feel like, what type of English is this person speaking? And that fear of judgment kind of translates to that feeling of stress, right?
Hmm.
So that's what feels like mind goes blank, right? But for everyone, I don't think it's always mind goes blank. For some people, it might be slightly different reactions, right? Sometimes you feel like you're translating in your head.
Hmm.
You know what you want to say. Most people always know what their opinion on something is or what they want to say, right? But it's you not being able to find the words in English, create the sentence structure, and say it. Like I want to say, ki, no, no, we can't go to the movie tomorrow. We will go day after, or we'll go on Saturday only. I have work tomorrow. Now you're thinking of how to structure this. So first you've thought in your own native language, and now you're trying to translate it, right? That feels like going blank because you're doing an unnatural. That's not how language works. That's an unnatural way for your brain to process language. The natural way is that when you start thinking, words start forming. Automatically, you're able to recall the right words to describe something, right? Like
Right.
movie, tomorrow, day after, I have some work. Those words will come to you the minute you start thinking about it, right? But
Right.
when those words don't come, you made your whole idea in your mind in your own language, Hindi or whatever, but you're not finding the words to do the translation.
Right.
That's when people feel like their
So I
mind goes
think
blank.
it can also be happen because of lack of vocabulary or maybe lack of confidence. Like you're not confident enough.
Yes. Yes. So confidence is the bigger one. Lack of confidence leads to more stress, right?
Okay.
Like suppose you and I are both at the same level of English. Maybe both of us are average. We are not good. We are not bad. But one of us has more confidence. The person who has more confidence gets scared lesser,
Hmm.
feels less pressure. They're like, I'll speak whatever it is, I'll speak something,
Um,
and okay, more or less it'll come out all right. But the person who has less confidence feels more of that stress and more of that pressure, right? So that is there. And the other thing you said is vocabulary, right?
Yeah.
And the important distinction is about, so there are two types of vocabulary. There's your overall vocabulary, all the things you understand, right? Suppose there is a word like atmosphere,
Hmm.
right? You know the word atmosphere.
Right.
Now that I've said it, you've understood what it is.
Right.
But if you had to say that word of your own mind, from your own mind, you have to generate that word, it may
Sentence.
not come.
Right.
That is what comes to you easily is called active vocabulary, right?
Right.
And the action of bringing it into your mind and being able to say it is called recall. You're able to recall this word. ये तो पहले सुना था. That
Right.
recall is much better for active vocabulary. There are many other words you understand, but you're not able to recall them.
Right.
So that is a problem, which is why you feel like I can't think of words. I'm feeling blank. No words are coming to my, the top of my mind. Like you heard this
Right.
phrase, right? Top of my mind.
Right.
It's not top of mind. It's there buried somewhere deep inside your mind.
Hmm.
But you need to, how to bring it top of mind is it comes with practice, right? There is no other shortcut. There's no learning, writing, rattoing these words, mugging up. Nothing works. The only thing that works for recall and active vocabulary is practice of speaking. So that's very important.
So I think vocabulary is not the major issue. The major issues is the stress and the confidence, which leads to get you blank for some moment. Like, but now the
Yeah.
question comes like, how can someone handle that nervous moment when they suddenly
Yeah.
forget simple words, and how can Sparky
Yeah.
help them to recover or overcome this problem?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is exactly what Sparky solves, right? So, the way to solve nervousness and vocabulary, both things, is practice, right? Like if you're doing something every day, like if you have to make tea every day, you know exactly, if you just take your hand, you'll reach the shelf exactly where your tea is kept. Every day you pick it up from there. You're
Right.
just very tuned to saying, if I turn this side, there's water. If I turn that side, there's,
Right.
your cup or whatever. It's just part of it's coded into you. But if you go into someone else's kitchen and you have to make tea, then you have to look for things, right?
Time.
Now, so that is what practice does. It just makes it automatic.
Mm.
So practice is the way to get over that nervousness and to move words that you know from the depth of your mind to move it to top of your mind. So it comes to you when you need it. So Sparky exactly assists people in doing this. Sparky is like your AI friend. You can speak to Sparky about any topic of your choice, anything related to your life, related to your work, whatever you want to practice, whatever you are interested in talking about, you talk about that to Sparky. And Sparky gives you, firstly, the most important thing is judgment free practice. This exact thing that causes pressure is the fear of judgment. With Sparky, Sparky is an AI. Sparky looks like a fox, right? So people don't feel like, oh, someone will judge me. It is a very comfortable, friendly space. Ki I can try. Whatever I know, as much as I know, I can at least try to speak it. No one will laugh at me. Even if it comes out really badly, it's fine. So that once that fear gets over, people start speaking more. And then Sparky is built to give you a lot of support and a lot of feedback. So
Mm.
support is like, for people who feel like even with Sparky, if they feel like my mind is blank, I don't know how to start this sentence. Sparky will give you hints. Sparky will give you suggested things to say. You can translate what Sparky is saying if you feel like I've not understood. There are lots of support features that are available for you. You can see meanings of words, etc. And then when you say something, Sparky gives you immediate feedback. You can see what did I say it right? Did I say it wrong? And over time, Sparky will also tell you how to say it better and all of that. But over time, Sparky learns about your mistakes.
Okay.
This particular type of mistake. So you teach English, you know there are some concepts that people get wrong, right? Some things are simple, some things are little hard, right?
Right.
So if I want to say ki, past continuous tense, for example, maybe that is something that is hard for people. Or it could be something else. People don't know when to use when to use the, when to use an, right? So these are all grammar concepts. Sparky is learning from whatever you are speaking to Sparky, which mistakes you make the most often. Now, for you, it might be different. For someone else, it might be different.
Right.
And then it gives you very specific remedial, very specific exercises on your mistakes.
Oh,
This mistake you made 10 times. Now let's go and really understand what is this concept, what is a right and wrong examples. Ki this is the wrong way to say it, this is the
mm,
right way to say it, right? So it's built literally to do this. First, to bring you to the level of feeling confidence ki whatever you know, jitna aata hai, open your mouth and you speak at least.
right.
And then after that, to get better from there, to speak correctly, to speak with the right words. And fluency comes after that. Fluency is basically when both these two things are there. Confidence is also there, words are also there, some grammatical structures have become automatic. It has to become automatic. It can't be something that you keep in mind ki subject then verb then object. If you're
Right.
doing that, then you will not be fluent.
Right.
Automatic हो जाना चाहिए. So
Automatic.
that is, once you do that, so by practicing with Sparky, you get to that level because one by one you finish these previous problems of just fear of speaking, words are not coming to my mind, etc.
So let's have a demo of Sparky first.
Yeah.
Hello. Today we will learn to introduce ourselves. Tell me one thing that you would like others to know about you.
I am 5 years working experience. I have a BSc degree.
Great effort. You shared good information. Try saying, I have 5 years of work experience and a BSc degree. What do you enjoy most about your job?
Try.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So let's move on to my next question. I would like to know from your point that do you think that overthinking also stops us from speaking fluently? Like we think a lot
Yes.
whenever it comes about grammar, vocabulary, and many aspects of learning English are there.
Yes, yes, 100%. So it is the same, comes from the same place of fear of making mistakes. Why are you overthinking? You're overthinking because you're so afraid, you, what if I make a mistake? What will someone think about it? That's why you're overthinking. And actually, part of it I feel is also the flaw of schools and the way English language has been or any language has been taught. In school, you have been told that you have to learn grammar, you have to learn some rules, you have to accept XYZ, right? But when you're a child growing up in a household that speaks a certain language, did
Right.
your mother or your father ever teach you any rules of that language?
No.
Right? You just learned, and then
Just learn.
it is automatic to you
Right.
as you think that language is just coming to you, right? That is the way language is learned, and this idea, rules and all, is a good idea for later stage when you at least have some fluency and you feel like there are some mistakes I'm making, and you want to understand what is the mistake, right? But that's not how it works, right? Like, for example, I love the examples of car driving because I feel like speaking is like driving a car, right? You have a judgment ki how much space I have, how do I have to turn, how much I should move the steering, how much I should press the accelerator, when should I press the brake. All
Mm.
this is judgment that is happening together automatically. Do
Mm.
you know the engineering? Do you know break dabane se what is happening inside the car? When you press the accelerator, what is happening? How the car is picking up speed? You
No.
don't know any of
No,
that,
no.
right? But you
Yeah.
have a judgment that it automatically comes to you that if I want to achieve this outcome, this is what I do. My body does it without even thinking. And that is what we need to get to with language. It can't be, fluent speech, confident speech cannot come when you're thinking about grammar. In fact, when you're thinking about grammar or correctness, you're not focusing on what you're saying, right? Like a good conversation is where I'm making something that is some points or something which is useful for you or interesting for you, and then you're saying something, and we're having a good conversation.
Right.
Everyone understands the difference between a good conversation and a conversation where you just don't get the feel, right?
Right.
If you're constantly focusing on is my language correct, then you're not focusing on listening to the other person or making the right things, whatever statements you want to make.
Right.
So that definitely overthinking kills fluency. It also kills the relationship or the chemistry between the two people talking.
That is also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like Sparky includes any feature that can help users to track their progress or fluency. Is there any feature?
Yes, so there is a progress report. And firstly, there is feedback at many stages. So there's feedback right after you say something, it will show you if you make any mistakes, how to say
Okay.
it better. Now
Okay.
you finish a whole conversation, suppose 7, 8 exchanges, you finish the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gives you a full report which tells you about everything. Okay, how many grammar mistakes you made, which mistakes were they, how was your vocabulary, how many words you spoke. All of that also you get at the end of every conversation. And there is long term progress report that if you've been using Sparky for like 2 months or some amount of time, it tells you how you have progressed over time, what how much you have done, right? And we see that users feel a lot of confidence when they realize I have actually spoken almost 3,000 words,
Yeah.
right? And like I can speak English, it's not like I can't, I have spoken these words, right? So it gives you that type of data. Also it gives you data on your scores, grammar score, vocabulary score. But my personal view is that more than scores, what will you do with a score? Like people want to know, so we give it. But like
Okay.
45 hai grammar mein ya 67, what to do about it? Right? The more important thing is, so what? Like if I'm 45, how do I get better?
Right.
Right? What are the things I can work on? What are my mistakes? Help me practice those mistakes. That's what we focus on Sparky rather than focusing on giving you some numbers, right? But numbers are also there for people who like to see. That
Okay.
is also there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, if you're discussing about this topic, one question also comes to my mind, which is very, like, often I have heard people saying that I can understand English but can't speak. So, what advice
Yeah.
would you like to give to learners who say that?
You have to speak to learn speaking. It is just one of those things that you can't, like when people say, I understand English, the mode of how did you get there? How did you start understanding English? Either in school, teacher was teaching. So you were listening to the teacher, you were reading some books, you were watching some movies after that, you were maybe reading the newspaper. You have been absorbing language. It is going from outside inside to your brain. The only way to get speaking, to get to the ability of speaking, is to start speaking. You have to start speaking, and it's one of those things like can you learn how to swim sitting in a classroom? Can you learn how to drive sitting in a classroom? No, you can't. You have to sit in a car, or you have to learn how to ride a bicycle. You have to get into the water if you want to learn how to swim. So just stop analyzing why is this happening to me. I can understand, but I can't speak why. The why is this only that you have no practice.
Mhm.
So that muscle is not developed. The words don't come to your brain, come to your top of mind when you want to speak. The way out of it is to start speaking. And it is obvious that people don't want to start doing this in front of people who might judge them, like
Mhm.
call office colleagues or someone you feel like, oh, in your college or something, or whatever, in any social situation, people feel like I don't want to speak like,
Mhm.
badly. So that's okay. Now there is the technology, and with Sparky you can do this judgment free practice, but just move your attention from, instead of saying why can't I speak, to how can I speak. The answer is
Okay.
speak. You can speak to your friend, you can speak to a teacher, but if you don't have that, then
Hmm.
Sparky is a great way to get that practice. You can do it on any topic of your choice. Like you talk about, India women's team has won the World Cup, talk about that. You want to talk about, some TV show that you're watching, you want to talk about some recipe you're cooking, anything. अपने मन का, interest का, any topic you can talk and use that as a way to get to that place where you feel more confident about speaking.
Yeah. Similarly, like if you want to learn how to make tea, you have to make tea actually.
Yeah,
Similarly.
someone will tell you only a little bit. Now, someone will tell you so
Yeah.
much milk, cup, one
Yeah,
teaspoon
but
of.
you have to do it. Just to know the how much
Yeah.
portion of required of milk and tea, because
Yeah.
many people, I think
And
the people
I
who
think
don't
tea is still
yes.
easier. I feel like the good example is how to make roti. Because tea, at least like someone can tell you, put 1 cup of this, half a cup of this, teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Roti, you just have to make it. Like you'll see, you're learning the first time you're making a roti.
Right, it's
Oh, it will
difficult.
not come out round. Even if someone showed you that they made it round, in front of you they did it and showed, but
Mm.
yours will not come round. Then when you put it on the gas, it will not, like, depending on how you make it, वो फूलता
Yeah.
नहीं है.
Right.
So it's okay, but if you do it 10 times, it'll happen.
Hmm.
That's what you have to
Right,
do.
right. That's true. Practice. Because I also remember it took me a lot of time to bake that perfect chapati because I even did not
Yes.
know how to do it. And it's all
Yeah.
about making that dough. How
Hmm.
carefully you make your dough. It depends
Hmm.
on the quality of that, like that your chapati will blow up or not. This is what I
Yeah.
would say. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. फूलने को
Even
क्या
I don't
बोलेंगे?
know. Even I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of taking pause, I use the substitute which I feel
Hmm.
comfortable here. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how English is. Until you get into the situation, until you directly deal with people, you never know what kind of problems are you facing with it. So once you
Yeah.
go there and start speaking, then you understand, okay, I'm not able to speak this particular kind of sentences. Or whenever I, for example, I know that what my weakness is. When I have to speak about my past, I tend to make mistakes. So I have to
Hmm.
work that particular area of English. And that's where
Yes.
Sparky can actually help people. When you know that
Yes.
that is your lacking point, I think that's when it's easy to conquer that particular problem.
Yeah, but I'm saying Sparky will work for you even before you know what is lacking. If you
Ah,
just come from a point,
right.
I don't have confidence to speak.
Right.
Just go use Sparky, and we see we actually did an analysis recently of user progress data. How fast are our users progressing? And
Okay.
we saw great data like in about 10 sessions of like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, kabhi practice. So 10 sessions, if you do, you move up half a level. There is
Oh,
English mein there is a well understood leveling A1, A2, B1, B2.
yes.
Globally it is there, right?
Yes.
So we see that, say, if you start at A2, in 10 sessions you moved half the distance to B1. And
Okay.
in about 25 sessions, you've moved up a whole level,
Okay.
right? And for your viewers to understand, there are only 6, 7 levels, right? It's not like there are 100 levels.
Right.
Ki climbing level is not useful. No, one level is a lot, actually. Total from some new person to something great is 6, 7 levels. So in just that much, people move up by one level, and that is massive for confidence and communication. It may not be still 100% correct. All your problems may not have disappeared, but you have now gotten to a point where you're able to communicate or express
Mm.
more complex ideas. Like,
Mm.
I recently went to China, right? And they don't understand any English,
Okay.
very, very less. So I can't communicate anything complicated. I can only say one word things, right? Like I will say tea, milk, I'll
Okay.
say bathroom, or I'll say something like that, right? When you know very less English, you can communicate very simple ideas. If I have to tell them a whole line ki my father is going to come here in 10 minutes, can you tell him to wait for me? I'm just going to the shop. That's a very complicated idea,
Okay.
right? I can't communicate that to them because they just will not understand. So,
Okay.
what I was trying to explain by this example is as you become more confident and fluent, your capability to express more complicated ideas goes up.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you are just going to do single word, yes,
Yes,
no,
no.
very basic
Wow.
type of communication, or you will say only things like, I want a pen, that you can say, but you can't say much more. You can say, I want a pen it needs to be black, and I'll give it back to you in 10 minutes. This is more complicated as an idea.
Right.
So, yeah, coming back to the point that with Sparky, we see people getting to this improvement in just about 10 sessions. You're
Mm.
able to see this improvement. So it solves for both the problems of confidence. If you don't have confidence, definitely you need a safe space where no one laughs at you.
Mm. Right.
And then you need that support and feedback and practice to get to a place where you don't feel blank.
Right.
Yeah.
But one more problem is there with people, that is time. People, they don't have time. They're
Hmm.
so busy and occupied with their
Yeah.
work, office. If I talk about housewife, they are the most busiest person I feel in the world. They have to
Yes.
manage work, life balance, and everything. So how they
Yeah.
can learn English with the help of Sparky?
So see, the good thing with Sparky is that it is available for your use whenever you want, as much as you want, right? Like at
Mhm.
least at least 5 minutes you should do. I mean, if you can't do it for 2 minutes because then you're hardly doing
Right,
anything, right? But
right.
at least 5, 7 minutes you can find time anywhere, right? Like suppose it's just before sleeping, or it is maybe, you're waiting, you've gone to pick up your, child from school, you're waiting outside, or maybe it is with your morning tea. Whenever you have 10, 15 minutes, you can use it. So it doesn't have to be something that you have to dedicate a large amount of time to. And it is not on appointment, na? Ki it's only 3 o'clock on Tuesday you can do it. It's not like
Right.
that. Whenever you find the time, you can do it. You can do less. If you want to do more, you can do as much as you want. And we see a lot of users using it late evening.
Oh.
After 7, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. to 12 noon, 12 in the night is
Mm-hmm.
the highest usage that we see. So we
Oh.
also understand this, that it's after work for a lot of people who are
Mm-hmm.
going to office or have college or whatever. It's after that, or for parents and people with families. It's after, say, dinner is a family time, everyone is sitting together or whatever, maybe after your children have slept. It could be whenever you can find the time. So it doesn't require a lot of time. The only thing I would say is be regular. Don't do like half an hour sessions. Do 10 minute practice, but try to do it at least 3, 4 times a week. If you do that, it'll work for you.
So do you
I'm
feel
like
that 10
super.
minutes practice is just enough for a person? If he's doing consistently for a month or two, he will definitely see an improvement,
Yes,
is what
yes.
you're
If you
saying.
can do 50, I would typically recommend 15 minutes at
15
least three
minutes.
times a week.
Okay.
But 10 is also better than doing half an
If
hour on
someone
one day.
every day is spending 10 minutes every day,
Yeah.
then I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it would be.
100%. 100%. And you should, the other thing we, have in Sparky, or we encourage people to do, is talk about the things that are relevant to your life. Don't try to talk about things that are somebody else's life, right?
Right.
Like suppose in your life, you are a doctor, you are
Mhm.
meeting patients. That's the type of conversation you want to have. Have that type of conversation, or have conversation about general life. What did you do on Sunday? How was Diwali? Or
Mm.
which god do you follow?
Mm.
Your life. It doesn't have to, everyone doesn't have to have the same conversation. When you do it relevant to your own life, firstly you have the vocabulary for it, so
Right.
you get to confidence and fluency faster,
Mm.
and everything else comes along the way. For other things you will learn slowly, but
Right.
for your life you should be able to do that type of conversation first. Sometimes learners make the mistake of taking topics. Ki today I'm going to talk about education in India. I don't have a view on education in India. Why should I talk about it?
Right.
I should talk about what I know. I want to talk about Virat Kohli is such a great batsman, or no, Virat Kohli se to Rahul Dravid is better. It's okay. Talk about that. Right?
Right.
Language is just a medium of communication. Any topic you can learn by talking about that topic.
Right. But even if I feel that person is practicing every single day, they must have to have some patience, because this is not something you can learn overnight or within a week or a month. There is no specific time period that after practicing 10 minutes in a
Yeah.
month, you will start
Yeah.
speaking fluently. It's not going to happen because every person starts from certain level. And we should know
Yes.
the level from where we have started, then we can compare ourselves with the other people out there. But people don't have patience actually. That is also a
Yes. So
problem.
one is, it is true. It is true. Everyone wants a,
Quick
one
result.
other education company, they have a course called Saat Din Angrezi in, right? And I think jhoot bol rahe hai. It's a lie, right? No one, no one is going to learn. So if people want to fall in that trap because they think,
Right.
that be, of course it'll be great, but it's not possible. Like if I go to the gym for 3, 4, 5 days, it's not like I suddenly have muscles, right?
Right.
So it does take time, but
Mhm.
our view of that is that in education, where you need the user to have a lot of motivation. Ki
Hmm.
every day I will practice. I'm going to be a good girl. I'm going to practice every day. That is hard, right? It is hard. It's human nature. It is hard. So our view is that The conversation should be enjoyable so
Hmm.
that tomorrow you want to talk. And it could be
Right.
anything. Like we see users coming and talking repeatedly about how can I, get promoted? What should I study? I want to move my job. Now they're starting to get interested in the conversation itself. They're not just telling themselves every day, ki, no, no, I have to practice. I'm going to be a good boy. No. They've
Right.
actually come there because they want to have that conversation. Similarly, if you find that thing, and it's Sparky, that's how it's designed to help you find that thing, right? I want to talk about every day, ki, what did I do today? The story of my day. Today I did this, today I did that. I can do that every day. And it stops feeling difficult. It stops feeling like a task I have to, motivate myself for. But I start enjoying it like I start enjoying a friend that I can talk to, right? Like if, we do this every day, college kids or, in office, every evening you'll meet your friend while, going home. 10-15 minutes you'll talk about what happened today. This one said this, that happened, right? It's like that. You just find your type of conversation you want to do, and then that it doesn't feel like I need patience, or you need patience, but it doesn't feel like, do you need patience to do Instagram every day? No. You do Instagram every day. You
Every
open
day.
Instagram every day.
Right.
Yes, but you don't need patience because it is fun.
It is something that you like
So,
doing it. So make it
yes,
interesting rather than just
make it
discussing the
interesting. Make it
topic
interesting.
randomly.
So
Right.
the you don't have to rely on patience or rely on motivation because that is hard.
So that is, I think, personal work an individual has to put in. Like he has to choose the things which he's personally interested in, and then he has
Yes.
to design his roadmap according to his choices, his interests. Then
I
only he'll
wouldn't even
feel.
say roadmap. It's not like that difficult. It's not a
Yeah,
roadmap, but it
speaking
is
is
just
not a difficult, yeah. But apart from that, if you want to write, you want to enhance overall, then I
yes,
think you
yes,
have to work on all four aspects of learning English. But for spoken, I think
yes.
Sparky is enough. I think you have to
Yes, yes,
just
yes.
practice
For
every single
writing,
day.
of course, you have to choose what to write on because
Right.
then you're by yourself.
Mm.
So you have to choose
True.
something, and it could be anything. For you, it could be like a diary every day. I write what I did today. For somebody else, they could write stories.
Mm.
Anything is fine. Languages, if you use the language, you'll get better.
Okay, so I think we are running out of time, and I would like to say my viewers that if you are a beginner or even if you are an intermediate level, please join Sparky because it will help you improve your communication skills. And it's very nominal, reasonable. You don't need to pay a lot of money. It's just like a recharge which you do in your phone. So I will mention the link of Sparky in my description box. If you have any query related to that, you can simply ask me. I would definitely reply you. I will definitely reply to you. And thank you, ma'am, for joining me this wonderful conversation. And
Thank you,
yeah,
Karishma.
we'll see you some
Okay.
other day. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.